Tombstone, Arizona Territory, March 27, 1882.
Hollister.
Oh, Mr. Howard.
Some of us want to know what you're going to do about the outlaw element of this town.
My deputies and I arrest them.
But they're never convicted. They just go free to rob and kill again.
Mr. Howard, I'm just the sheriff, not the judge and jury.
Nobody wants to be the jury. It's too dangerous. They're afraid of what might happen if they vote to hang one of these murderers.
Mr. Clyburn and I are working on that, too. He's wired Washington for military protection for him.
I hope we get some action.
Here's Grady. Apaches. Hit Antelope Springs.
Apaches that close?
Get all the men you can together.
Right, Clay.
Fred and I'll ride out with you.
Sheriff Clay Hollister rode out with a posse to Antelope Springs, where the Apaches had made their attack. An actual account from the pages of my newspaper, the Tombstone Epitaph. This is the way it happened, in the town too tough to die.
Tombstone Territory.
The afternoon of March 27, 1882. Sheriff Clay Hollister started his ride back from Antelope Springs. The Apaches had fled, and the sheriff had sent the posse in pursuit of the marauders. Choosing their time perfectly, two outlaws approached the mining and milling company 2 miles outside of Tombstone.
Be obliged if you fill that.
Let's have it!
Fool! The miners will be coming for their money. Come on.
I had just finished reporting the outbreak of Apache raids on outlying ranches. Checked my watch with the 5 o'clock whistle at the Tombstone mine. When the whistle continued, I knew it was an emergency. I rode to the mine 2 miles out of town to investigate. But the hold-up men had killed and vanished.
I warned you about your fast trigger.
You saw him go for his gun.
This could mean big trouble.
You don't want to have no fun, do you, Mitt?
I wanted money. I didn't want a killing.
Too bad about the money.
You go on to Crowley's. I'm going back to town.
I hope you know what you're doing, partner.
When I got back, the townspeople were demanding action. They told me Clay Hollister had just returned from Antelope Springs.
I tell you, they almost got me.
That the hat, Clay?
That's it, Mr. Clyburn. Not much to go on. How'd it go, Fred?
Rough. We trailed the Apaches into the Dragoons, and it was an easy trail to follow.
More raids?
2 more ranches and their families. Not a pretty sight, even the young'uns. I came back to report. Something wrong?
2-man stick-up at the Tombstone mine. Killed Mr. Barton.
That hat belongs to one of them.
I saw a man without a hat riding across the San Pedro. He was headed towards Crowley's place. Looked like Billy Clyde.
Young Billy. He's a hard case.
Yeah, everyone thinks that he and Mitt Porter held up that Benson stage.
I wonder about Porter.
They're probably over at Crowley's place now. It's nothing but a hideout.
Do you think Billy and Mitt did it?
I'll ask him.
Let's get it over with.
I'm going with you.
Well, now, Mr. Clyburn.
Look, boy, I've been doing a lot of talking. You might need some help bringing them in.
Might at that. Except one of them's walking up to us right now.
Well?
He's tall like him, only he's dressed different. Wore his hat like you, Fred. Nope, it couldn't have been Porter.
You sure?
I was there.
You said you weren't looking.
It isn't Porter. Besides, he couldn't be 2 places at the same time.
Unless he was 2 people. Which maybe he is. Take over for a while.
Hey, now, there's a fuzzy little one.
Like that.
Hello, Mitt.
Mm-hmm. Hello,
Simmons.
Mr. Caddy.
Hello.
Very attractive hat for a very pretty lady.
Thank you.
How's the freighting business, Mitt?
Can't complain.
Picking up lots of money on the Bisbee Road, are you?
I'm doing all right.
I think you're the richest man in town. Hope you realize that.
Mitt, we're riding out after your friend, Billy Clyde.
Billy Clyde? Why?
Well, I want to talk to him. I don't know if it was him or his partner who killed Mr. Barton.
Mr. Barton was killed? Well, what makes you think that Billy had anything to do with it?
Hat was found. Billy was seen riding for Crowley's ranch bareheaded.
All right. Guess that's your problem.
It's no problem, Mitt. I figure Billy want to talk about things. He won't want to hang alone.
Tombstone juries don't hang anybody. Seems they're scared to.
Barton was a popular man, Porter. The town's had enough.
You want to ride out with us, Mitt?
Well, why me?
We thought you might have some influence with Billy. Avoid another killing.
When you leaving?
Ooh, about an hour.
Mr. Porter's not riding with any posse tonight. We're going to choir practice.
Fire practice?
That's right. Choir practice.
That it is, Mr. Claiborne.
Well, we smoked him out.
Yeah.
What's the matter, Mr. Clyburn? Something wrong?
Yeah. I like that fella. We rode immediately to reach Crowley's ahead of Porter. We arrived at sundown, and Clay Hollister scouted the ranch to see if other guns were around.
How did it look? I looked all over. Crowley and his boys out there. Probably all in Gaileyville gambling. There's just one man in bed. That has to be Billy.
How do you know?
He isn't wearing a hat.
I'm gonna go get him.
Hold on. He'd shoot you without even opening an eye, just out of instinct.
Not if I shoot first. Let's take Billy, then we can wait inside for Porter. That is, if Porter shows.
He'll show all right.
Open up, Billy. It's me, Mitt.
Fred, maybe you better cover the back door. When you get up there, wait. I'll holler out and tell them they're surrounded.
Wait.
They're organizing a posse. You gotta get going. Where's your horse? Out in the corral?
Yeah. I'll be halfway to Mexico before they get here.
They wouldn't be coming, Billy, if you hadn't done that killing.
Well, now, look who's preaching. I'm surprised you even come up here to warn me.
That much I do owe you. But I don't trust you.
I don't believe I heard rightly. You don't trust me?
That's right. I figure if they get you near the end of a rope, you'll want company.
What happens if you get caught? Then who talks? You could really hang me. But you won't. I think I better kill you now.
You got the drop?
That's right.
You'd shoot?
I'm bad, I admit it. You don't know what you are.
Who is it? You're surrounded. That fool.
Thought you were ahead of them. They said they weren't leaving for an hour.
All right, now, you're surrounded.
Sure. Hold it right there, Billy. I'll cover the back.
Now I know I'm not gonna hang. I don't know about you. Tell him you did the killing, Billy. Tell him. Tell him. You tell him.
Drop it. You get around, boy.
Fred Billingsley is dead.
I didn't kill him.
I don't think you'll get Billy to testify to that.
Well, I'm not gonna hang.
Don't be foolish!
Mitt! Hold it, Mitt!
You think he'll live? Well, he's tried for murder, and then who knows?
March 28, 1882. Mitt Porter was under guard in the Tombstone Hospital.
Excuse me. I'll have to ask you to check that gun, stranger.
Well, I'm just passing through.
Well, make sure you do. Town's got rules.
Rules?
Yes, Mr. Warren?
I knew this would happen. Porter's healing up in the hospital, waiting to go free like the rest.
Fred Billingsley ain't healing up none.
Those cowboys think they run this town.
They do.
Well, it's time something was done about it.
You're right, Miss Bradbury.
People are getting panicky.
Yeah. Why didn't you and the editor kill Porter when you had the chance?
He'll stand trial when he can get out of bed, if he ever can.
Won't do no good. Juries are scared.
Well, you're the men who make up the juries.
I ain't gonna buck them gunslingers.
Well, you know, I don't blame you much about that. That'll all be changed now.
What do you mean?
I got an answer from Washington. All juries will have protection.
What protection?
Troops, if necessary.
From Fort Huachuca. So now you know.
Well, maybe things will be better.
Yeah.
Well, it's about time.
I hope I get on that Porter jury.
Me too. He'll hang.
It's time they was showed.
Well, we'll show them too, won't we, boys?
It's up to us.
Win, I'm terribly sorry. It's just that I got in so deep.
You could have told me. Did you kill Billingsley?
No.
Did you kill Barton?
No.
Was it Billy? Oh, I knew you were mixed up in something. I hoped I was wrong.
When I was mixed up. But you know, it's a funny thing. When a man comes so close to dying as I did, he sees things real clear. Now I'm glad there's going to be a trial. They got to believe I didn't kill anybody. When, after the trial's over, maybe we could go to California. Live respectable. I know I got no right, but I'm proposing.
I think you're delirious.
I'm not gonna kill him, lady. I'm his brother. I I heard you were running in bad company.
Stay out of this, Dave.
I'm taking you back to Texas.
He's staying. He's standing trial.
Lady, a bloodthirsty jury can hang a man same as a lynch mob. I'm not letting them make an example out of my brother. Come on.
No, Dave.
Mitt, I heard them talking on the streets. They mean it. They want revenge.
He's not going.
If he stays, he swings. They're so stirred up, they'll hang the first man they try. And it's not going to be him. I got horses, but I'll need some help getting him out of here, lady.
Don't drag her in.
You have a gun. If you use force, I'll have to help.
I guess I'm forcing. You get his clothes?
Everything all right in here?
Couldn't be helped. Hurry up.
Mitt and Dave Porter rode out of Tombstone, trying to cover as many miles as possible before their escape was discovered. They didn't stop to rest or eat as they sought refuge in the mountains. Only desperation kept the wounded boy on his horse. The two brothers pressed through a devil's graveyard of rocks and boulders, avoiding trails, ridges, and exposed areas where they might be spotted. Their destination, Texas, and home. The Porter boys were aware of a double danger, a posse from Tombstone and the Apache raiders who infested the mountains and desert.
He wanted to stand trial, but his brother convinced him that he didn't have a chance. Look, it was his only way out. And I helped him.
I don't know if Mitt killed or not, but he deserves a fair trial, and boy, if I can find him, he's going to get one.
Where do you think they headed?
Mountains.
Mountains all over Arizona territory, boy.
Yeah, but in Mitt's condition, he can't outrun anybody in the open. My guess is they'll head for the Chiricahuas and then for Texas.
The Chiricahuas?
That's Apache country.
He's sick, but he's no fool.
But the Indians have been out in raiding parties, and Mitt knows it. I think he'll chance getting through. You sure you still want to go along? Some Indian might wind up wearing that fancy jacket.
I'm going.
I wouldn't go, but my hat's off to you.
Hope we can keep our hats on. You're in charge, Sorehead.
Posse's on its way in.
They make contact with the Apaches?
They hit and run. All we did was chase them back in the mountains.
Which mountains?
The Chiricahuas.
The afternoon of March 28th. Clay Hollister and I prepared for a long, hard ride and left at once. We didn't have time to wait for the posse. The Porter boys had a big head start, and we tried to close the gap before the going got rough. But we were slowed by the rugged foothills. Their trail told Clay they were still far ahead of us. They led us into hidden ravines and box canyons known only to Indians. We tracked them into the forbidding Chiricahuas, fortress of the murderous Apaches. There was still no sign that they had stopped to rest or eat. It was no longer an easy trail to follow, and it would soon be night when all trails end. The evening of March 28th. Mitt and Dave Porter penetrated deeper into the Apache stronghold. The stars would soon be out. But which would be stars and which would be Apache eyes? morning of March 29.
I'm still warm.
You like eating something?
No, go ahead.
Well, at least the Apaches haven't found us.
They wouldn't attack till daylight anyway.
Yeah. Something to do with their religion.
Religion. They just enjoy seeing you die.
You're a pretty tough kid. You haven't eaten enough to keep a cricket. Should be quite a celebration when I bring you home.
You know, Dave, I've always been second best to you. Seems I still am.
You trying to prove something back in Tombstone? How did money get to be so important to you anyway?
Isn't it to everyone?
Depends on how you come by it. You had no right to involve that girl.
She was going to California with me, Dave.
Maybe she'd like to come to Texas.
Is that more big brother advice?
Well, I figured if she'd take over, maybe I could concentrate on a few problems of my own.
Yeah, it's funny. I never figured you'd ever have any problems. But I like your solution.
Well, it's a beautiful morning.
Yeah. I wonder if it's a beautiful day in Texas.
Company.
Posse or Apaches?
Were you hit?
I don't think there's any new holes in me. Dave. Dave.
Yeah.
I've never quite learned how to say this. But thanks.
We'll make it.
I'm out of shells. Dave, you go ahead and run for the horses.
I said we'll make it.
Do like I tell you. Let me be the family hero just...
Ned?
He's a long way from Texas.
How guilty was he? How guilty the town? Dave Porter miraculously escaped to Texas. We buried his brother Mitt where he was killed in the Chiricahuas. It was no happy ending to a girl's dream of home and family. But that's the way it happened. Mitt Porter made some mistakes in his young life in this young country and learned, as did many residents of Tombstone, that only the town was too tough to die.
Whistle me up a memory, whistle me back where I wanna be. Whistle a tune that'll carry me to Tombstone territory. If your past has run afoul foul of the law, it's a handy place to be. 'Cause your future's just as good as your draw in Tombstone territory. Whistle me up a memory, whistle me back where I wanna be. Whistle a tune that'll carry me to Tombstone territory.